Hello. Most of the organizations and corporate companies have started beginning to realize that they cannot function without an efficient system of communication. Without an efficient communication system, a network, and they cannot uh, do have a fast, speedy workflow in their organization. And more so in case of global organizations. Organizations in which the employees are of culturally diverse, they have to communicate and exchange information with people located and situated in the various parts of the world. So in even and especially so in such situations, in such organizations where there is a culturally diverse workforce functioning together, an efficient system of communication and employees and managers having good communication skills, uh, the organization can be more effective and more productive. Now, in market globalization, it's brought about by improvement in the communication and transportation technology. We know that at the advent of information technology, with the coming of internet and mobile phones and fax machines, etc., everything and the information, the speed of transfer of information has become more. It becomes has become much more faster. The information moves faster. You want to send a message to somebody, previously you had to write a letter, type it, send it by mail. It took time, but now you just mail and send. You want to talk to somebody on the phone, you immediately talk to somebody on the phone and you can communicate. There are the video conferencing is there. People, number of people sitting at various parts of the world can conference together, can talk together, have a meeting together, do problem solving together. So with the advent of information technology and with the use of internet, the fax machines, with the fax machines you can send your any paperwork documentation that you want immediately. Everything is becoming more and more virtual, rather than the paper formats are becoming less and less. But basically the communication is becoming much faster. So since it's becoming faster, the communication has to be much more efficient and effective for it to be effective. You cannot afford to have mistakes. You cannot make errors in your written communication or in your oral communication. So you need to have your employee or your workforce, be it diverse, be it whatever age group, they need to be good with their communication skills and have a good knowledge of the information technology so that the organization can work function more efficiently. The advancement in technology, like helps companies cross national borders to find customers, materials, and money, leading to market globalization. And intercultural communication, we know, allows the transfer of information between people whose cultural backgrounds leads them to interpret verbal and non-verbal signals differently. When we are communicating with people from different cultural backgrounds, then we know that their understanding of the non-verbal cues could be different from our understanding, because they have grown up in a been raised in a different background. Culture is basically the way they have been grown up, raised, and the information that, and the non-verbal cues that they understand, and the communication that they understand, the meaning of the words, although technically same, but still their understanding could be different. So we have to, when you are communicating with people with different cultural backgrounds, we need to know their laws, their communication skills, their ethics, so that their non-verbal cues, their understanding of the non-verbal cues, so that we also try and communicate in, at least appreciate their uh, non-verbal cues and their laws, and try and stick to them. Now, according to Bernard, by definition, the communication techniques shape the form and the internal economy of the organization. If the communication skills are efficient, they can uh, run an organization more efficiently. Uh, Fast and speedy communication, that is, or it will affect the economy of the organization, because the whole workflow in an organization depends upon their communication skills. You can say, for example, if they're the marketing department, the human resource department, the finance department, the research and production departments, the sales departments, they all have to work in coordination with each other. If there is a flaw in the product, it immediately has to be passed on to the sales department, to the finance department, to the research and development department. So similarly, if the sales have gone up, and then the information needs to be passed on to the production department, and as well as to the finance department, and so on to the research and development department, that about what are the needs of the customer, what does the customer want. So a good efficient flow of information or communication, it can enhance the working of an organization and bring about better productivity and efficiency. Communication modes are not only significant in the achievement of organizational goals, but also pose as potential problem areas. Because if the communication modes are not efficient, then they can become problem areas. Now, people, if for example, if they realize in the production department that there is some flaw in the product while they are manufacturing, and if the information does not get passed on to the sales department and to the research and development department, then it can create serious problems. The product, if it goes to the market, can give a very negative impact on the organization, and the research and development department needs to know that this is a flaw and how it needs to be overcome. So a good flow of communication uh, can make the movement, make the organization run efficiently, and in case there are problems, that's the problem area, it can have a negative impact and be a very big drawback for the organization. Now, communication also involves the transmission of information, ideas, emotions, and skill. This is the definition of communication: by the use of symbols, words, pictures, figures, from one person to another. Communication is the most basic of all processes through which the coordinated effort of a large number of employees can be directed towards the unified purpose and committed to organizational goals. Now, what is the need of communication? Basic organizational communication. As the structure becomes taller in an organization, you would see that means the number of employees increases in an organization. It is more important to have an efficient system of communication. In when the number of employees working in an organization is less, they are fewer in number, then the communication becomes automatic. They all know what's happening. They communicate with each other. But as the organizations have grown in size and specializations, people have become specialized, and there are departments come into existence, and super specializations come into existence. The structure becomes taller and much more complex. Therefore, the need of effective, efficient system of communication becomes mandatory. Now, the changing workplace has brought about various challenges in front of the organizations. Number one is the advancement in technology, as we discussed before, with with the entrance of the information technology, the communications have become much more faster, and the knowledge about and much more faster and wider. The whole world is becoming like a small village. The global communication is much more needed because people are buying from one country, manufacturing in the other country, and then selling in the other country. So for all these various levels, an efficient system of all this is happening because of the advent of advancement in technology. Globalization and increase in cultural diversity in workforce, because just like I explained, globalization, we are buying in one country, we are manufacturing in the other country, we are selling in the another country. You find all the brands which are selling here. Some are producing also here, and some are resourcing, outsourcing. This is the era of outsourcing. So because of this, there is a cultural diversity in the workforce. There are people from various cultures: British, then Americans, and not Chinese, and you have to communicate with all of them. So this makes it mandatory for a person to have good communication skills. Adoption of team-based organization structure. Now, because as like I explained, as the organization grows in size, you cannot, one person would not be handling and having one-on-one face-to-face communication with each one of them. You have to divide the group in various teams, various departments or various teams. So because of that, again, you have need of a good communication structure, and a good communication system in the organization becomes necessary. Now, good communication skills and an effective and efficient communication system in an organization can help it to develop a competitive advantage. It can be a competitive advantage of the organization if they have a good system, because and they can uh, fight the competition or face the competition. It can be to their advantage, because they the moment they feel that new product is being launched by their competitors, and if they are fast to response, they can, how can they be fast to response? Fast to response is only if they have a good communication system, and this can also become an advantage over their competitors. In an organization, an effective network of communication acts as a strong motivational force by helping employees understand what is expected of them, control and monitor their behavior, and also provide feedback. So basically, you need, and every organization needs, a good, efficient and effective communication network. The communication network and employees who can understand and be able to communicate efficiently, for the organization to run efficiently and to use their communication network as a competitive advantage over their competitors. Thank you. That will be all.